Butch, you talked about just kind of surviving a long week and a quick turnaround. Just talk about kind of how proud you are of the way you guys kind of gutted it out after that quick turnaround.
Yeah, just we have so much experience with these doubleheaders, and to complete us 2 SEC series in 7 days. I kind of forecasted to you guys it was going to be a challenge, and didn't look like I had any merit to it last night. The way we played offense, but thought I saw it in arms a little bit today. But again, offense absolutely won this series, and we really had a tough time with South Carolina. They were in swing mode, swung early. They got leadoff men on. Felt like for the first 10, 11, 12 innings, and I thought we made our mark on the mound once Graves got in the ball game. I thought Graves and Dylan Watts were amazing. But it's hard to talk about one offensive player when they played for 3 games. That's as offensive I can remember for 3 consecutive games. But I guess if I talked about one, it'd be Guevara, and it's a combination of offense, defense, but 12 hits in the series. And I guess somebody could go off this weekend, but for me, he'd be the hands down SEC Player of the Week. But everybody contributed. We hit the long ball, we passed it down, then we had the safety squeeze. We did some things that just lended to some success, and a lot of I just was listening to Lucas Steele, just a lot of confidence with the players. And that's what you need this time of year. And we talked about this was a 3-week push, and now it looks like 2 weeks are out of the way. We got one more midweek home game, and then travel for our last series. So we got one more week to keep our head down and keep trying to play, and then we'll reevaluate and get ready for the tournament.
With Guevara, how much do you think him finally being healthy and then getting a couple of weeks under his belt to be how much do you think that contributed to him being played like he did this weekend?
100%. Just as he keeps going, and then he had the hamstring this year. And I tried to reference back. We made an investment last year in him coming back off of that tough knee surgery, and was never 100% as a player. But just being on these fields and being on the weekends and stuff, you knew you had to get a return in that investment, and I think that's what we're starting to see.
You mentioned Graves. Just how big was that for him? He matched a career high in innings pitched, and it's not only that, but a shutout performance.
He was different. I thought that we only struck him out 6 times in the first game, Adam and Dutton. They beat those guys are throwing the best for us. There's no regrets. We were throwing at the ball game. We're throwing our best starter. We tried to finish with our best reliever. Carson Myers has been huge to what we're trying to do. We did get a lead late, hung in there, but it just seemed like we couldn't finish them off. And I think sequences maybe they've been working for us. They just 2-strike hitted them. Some of the off-speed stuff with 2 strikes, they just banged it all around the ballpark. And even us winning the ball game by 1 run there at the end, they out-hit us in the first game. And Griffin Graves, when we got him in the ball game, it felt like we were going to be able to finish with more fastball variety and left-handed. Because when they had the lead there, it seemed like they wanted to run a little bit more. So I thought he did a couple things for us, and I'm just glad he was on. And because I thought the left-handed fastball finally, got us in the game, and here come the offense coming finally. Cooper's home run was huge there when we got back in there and caught him. Somebody hit an early home run to make it 3-2, and then Cooper's big one was great. And then Watts had enough velocity, but he really had his changeup set tonight. It just seemed like they were doing a good job of curveballs and breaking balls from the right side. Graves settled us, and then Watts did a nice job down the stretch.
Peter? You talked about the offense a little bit already, but I think it was 51 hits, 46 runs over the course of the weekend. What does it take to have that that level of explosion?
I've been calling for, I think we're more offensive than we had been during certain stints of the season, and that I was optimistic that it was coming. And I'm not talking about a series like this. These are ones you'll remember forever when you play offense like this. But I do think you can see how many guys that can absolutely contribute in this lineup. We saw that all weekend long, and I thought we reached our potential. I thought last night's ball game that we continued to evaluate pitches for the duration of the game. I think that led to some consistency throughout the series and throughout a long doubleheader today. Sometimes when you get up big, you just quit evaluating and you don't have the same at bats. I think we had a chance to be consistent with that today because we never stopped trying to have an at bat last night. So that's just a good level of maturity of Gabe keeping them going, and maybe Ike and Coop continuing to tell everybody in the ranks to keep having at bats. It showed up, and I think that's allowed us to play 3 complete games offensively.
Right.
Butch, what does it mean to this program to go into the final week, a chance to get to 40 wins or close to it, a chance to finish top 4 in the SEC, a chance to potentially secure a top 8 national seed?
Yeah, all of that's out of our hands still. What is in our hands is being successful this week. Those guys are going to do a good job. They asked me not to put up any standings this year, the older guys. They ask us not to do some of those things to track, and just do everything I can to keep them in the moment. So we'll be in here in the morning in this weight room, start cycling their bodies. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I'll give them Sunday, and we'll come back out here Monday, and we got to get ready for Jacksonville State, and then we'll take the trip. It's just all the coaches' cliches, but this team operates best in the moment. And if I get ahead, then we're not focused on the moment. And if we look behind, then we're dragging something, rocks in our backpack. I think this team is just performing well by staying in the moment. And I can see it in the ball game. I can see it with, none of these games got off to a good start, especially today, and especially game 3. And the guys are just doing a good job staying in the moment. And so I need to probably finish that with them and stay in the moment with them, because we can handle that. We can sit down and try to figure out strategies here. If we start playing all these other games, which we have no control over, we just want to finish this 3rd week here, and so we'll just keep them in the moment.
Last one, Jason.
But you guys 12-3 at home in SEC play. You talked about building home field advantage and going out to have a season like that at home. That has to feel pretty special, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the most fans ever in history for a regular season. They got a huge part of that. Our environment's different. The teams that come in here and play reference that to me from their experience. A lot of these coaches, it's not the same. So I don't think there's a coincidence for you to be able to give me that stat. You got to have good players. You got to have a good team. It's always between the lines. But this is a harder environment than it's ever been to come in here. And I can say that because I've been in the league for 24 consecutive years. They haven't all been in the uniform that I've been honored to have the last 10 years. This environment's different now. This is a harder place to play than it's ever been. And like I said, I don't think it's a coincidence, the stat you just gave me. Our people have a lot to do with that.